see if I'm rolling here. I am. Okay. Welcome to the live stream where we're doing it live much earlier than normal. Everybody will be mad at me now. I forgot I had Memorial Day stuff to do. I tried to get some videos out there to warn people, but there you have it. There you have it. We're doing the early live stream where we do it live, little dogs. Where we do it live. Little Joan is here. Little Stella is on the floor because she's too big for the seat. Welcome to the live stream where we do it live. Hollywoke Hot Take Live. Where we will be talking about movies and the box office. Of course, the Pineys, Book 20. Before I get to it, though, I'll tell you about my week. It was a strange week. Weather continued to confound me. On Monday, I did an event at Crestwood Manor, which went very well. I really consider that part of the weekend since I did Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then, which should have been this weekend. And then on Saturday, I was supposed to do the Shoreline Vintage Show, which I love to do, but it friggin' rained and rained and rained, so they pushed it back to the 30th, and I have another event on the 30th. Then I was supposed to do the Flemington Book Fest today, but now it's raining there. They're still having it. They just pushed the authors back. They only have the authors on one day. So now I'm going tomorrow on Memorial Day. I hope people show up. I don't know. Hopefully it won't rain is the big thing. And then next week I'll be at, instead of being at Shoreline Vintage, I'll be at Walt Fest in Laurel Springs, New Jersey, to honor Walt Whitman. And there's always a Walt Whitman impersonator, which is kind of cool. And then on Sunday, I'm doing the FOP Cowplop event. Yeah, I know. Wayne Newton doesn't have the gigs I got. Wayne Newton. Jesus, that's an old reference. But today, of course, we're going to look at the box office. And surprisingly, we have all the numbers. So let's take a look. Mandalorian and Grogu, as Indy Phantom would call them, Mango and Gugu, $81 million, which is suspiciously right on the money. Man, they predict these things well. I don't know how they do it. I thought it would be lower, but I think Indy Phantom was pretty close with his prediction last week. I forget exactly what he said. I want to say 70 something or 80 something, but man, that's on the money. That's basically what they predicted. They were in 100 million range. They were like 80 to 100 million, but yeah, so not great. And even worse, 63 million overseas. So we're really looking at an average of about 70 million in both markets. So the production budget is 165K, maybe, if you believe that. This one may actually be lower. They may actually be lying to try to make this look profitable. I don't know. So at 165 million, you got to get 310 to break even, another 80 on top of that for the advertising, and they advertise the hell out of this thing. But let's use the formula. So you're looking at 390. All right, we're at 144. Next week, let's say it does another 70 million if it has reasonable amount of legs. I don't think this will, but whatever. So you'll be at like 214. Next week it does 35. You're at let's just say 250. The week after it does 17, 267. The week after that, you're at 8. You're at 225. And then you do 4. You're at 229. 2. You're at 231. And then you got to add the weeks in between. So the weeks in between, I don't know. I don't think that'll be another 100. It might be another 50. So this looks to be clocking in probably about $50 million short. I'm going to guess. And that's assume it does 50% of the box office every week. Good luck with that. I don't know. Word of mouth's probably going to kill this thing. The reviews are abominable. I haven't seen anybody really give it a great review. But there are always plenty of shills. Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes say. Again, I don't like Rotten Tomatoes. I don't recommend the Rotten Tomatoes. It's totally biased, but let's see. Well, the fans are liking it, according to this anyway. 62%. It's not great. Fans are liking it, though. Fans are liking it. So, who knows? Maybe it's good. I don't know. I'm not going to see it. Another thing is, Disney might have their entire fan base tied up in Disney Plus. Right? So, if most of their fan base also has Disney Plus, why even go to the theater? You know, they're spending all this money week after week to watch Disney Plus stuff. If it's just not that important, they'll wait. Now, Mandalorian and Grogu does have Monday. Monday is another weekend day because everybody's off. Now, a lot of people are doing holiday stuff, but some people at night will go to the movies. I used to do that. You know, you'd hit the barbecue in the day. If you're on the beach, maybe you go to the beach. But at night, it's a kickoff to the summer. Let's do something. So maybe you go to the movies with your friends or your relatives, in my case. So you're going to get a bit of a bump for tomorrow. Which makes next week almost guaranteed above 50%. So next week will be at least domestically 40 million and above. Probably be closer to 50, 60 million, which will make it look really, really good. And then Disney will capitalize on that and say, oh, Mandalorian and Grogu is the #1 movie in America. You know, and then it'll quote all bunch of good, reviews. And then, who knows, you might get people back in the theaters next weekend. But I kind of doubt it. #2 is Obsession. Surprising. Kind of surprising. Basically because nothing else other than The Mandalorian and Grogu is up against it. Everything else is kind of old. Except The Passenger, which I'm kind of surprised didn't do as well. 22 million. How is this movie doing so well? It's weird. In its second week. It's up 30%. That's very strange. Huh. That's up 30%? It's at 73 million on a production budget of $1 million. Is that a joke? Is that a mistake? Wow. Whoa, that's money in the bank, baby. That is big money. That's basically $70 million worth of profit. This money has already made more money than Mandalorian and Grogu. That's pretty impressive. That movie only cost $1 million? What the hell is Hollywood doing? Honestly. I mean, you have the #2 movie in America and you only spent $1 million? Hire this dude. Hire him. #3 is Michael. I'm surprised this didn't hit #2, but it has been in theaters for a month. Everybody's kind of already seen it. More people are going back to see it today, but, after a month, the people who are willing to go to the movie theater still have seen it, mostly. Devil Wears Prada 2, same sort of situation, only it's been out for 3 weeks. 12.5 million. Number 5, The Sheep Detectives. In its third week, 8.9 million. Yeah, you notice the drop-off is pretty low for that, mainly because this is the top kids movie that's sort of still in theaters. I hear good things about it. It looks kind of cute. I would see it. I wouldn't pay for it, but I would see it if it showed up on a platform and I was bored. Number 6, and I'm surprised it didn't do better, The Passenger, 8.7 million. This movie actually looks good. I kind of want to see this more than I want to see Obsession. Obsession I kind of don't want to see. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It looks like a Twilight Zone episode, whereas The Passenger looks like kind of cool and intriguing. And I love the Twilight Zone episode, but I hate when they take old Twilight Zone episode plots and then redo them as a whole movie. Typically, it doesn't work for me. Number 7, Mortal Kombat 2, dropping from 4. What happened? Nobody knows. 6.1 million. The fans seem to like it. It was an $80 million production budget. It's at 118 worldwide. The shocking, absolutely shocking thing to me is the international box office. 45 million against 72 domestic. Where the hell is the people overseas to see this thing? I'm shocked. Is Mortal Kombat not popular overseas or something? This seems like totally in the wheelhouse of, anime weebs and, people who play video games, Dragon Ball Z fans. Where the hell are they? That's crazy. That's very crazy to me. But here we go. Number 8. And I'm so glad this movie is failing. I Love Boosters. This looks $20 million budget. It's only a 3.7 movie. 3.7 million. You're cooked. You're cooked. I Love Boosters, to me, was one of the dumbest premises ever. Looked dumb. The execution looked dumb. This looked like another sort of woke, stupid movie. And this one trying to glorify shoplifting. Who the F would watch this movie? Dumb. Kind of aimed at women because it's got a bunch of fashion. The premise is a crew of professional shoplifters takes aim at a cutthroat fashion maven. It's like community service. It's not. That's why this movie premise can't hang. People out in LA, I guess, think it's cool. Oh, it's cool to steal. If I was poor, I'd steal. That's the Southern California rich, woke rich a-hole attitude. Oh, if I was poor, I'd totally steal. It'd be cool. No, it's not cool. It's not cool to steal. It's annoying. It's annoying and stupid and dumb. I think, just like this movie, in my opinion. Number 9, the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie, still in theaters, 3.1 million. It's been out for 2 months, but still doing bang up business. Same thing with Project Hail Mary at number 10, dropping from 7. 2.7. I just saw this movie. It's really great. It's a little long. They could have cut off some of the beginning. I would have cut about a half hour out of this movie, but solid. The stuff with Ryan Gosling and the alien's great. I love the little alien guy. He's fun. And fun movie. Number 11, Is God Is, down from 10 in its second week, dropping 60%. This movie looked good. I don't think it stood a chance in box office in theaters, 886,000. But I would check this out on a platform. It's kind of a cool revenge thing. Number 12 is Hokum with Adam Scott, who apparently was in a bunch of horror movies. We learned last week. Yeah, I just don't think I don't know. I always think of him in Parks and Rec. I can't wire my brain for him to be in a horror movie. It's kind of like comedy guys should stick mostly to comedy unless they really change their look. He didn't change his look at all. Number 13 is Corporate Retreat. This is a new horror movie. Kind of an anemic opening, 315,000, but it's only in 512 theaters for some reason. This looks like a typical horror movie. It's just got a corporate thing going on. What's the name? Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off is in it. It looks okay, I guess, for a horror movie, slasher kind of thing. Number 15, Top Gun, back in theaters. I'm surprised it hasn't done better on this weekend. But it's only in like 380 theaters. Still, though. Oh no, premiering pretty low is Tuner. Oh, but it's only in 4 theaters. This looks like a good movie. 102K. Has Dustin Hoffman in it, and I forget the name of the other actor who's the lead, but it's about a guy with a special ear condition. He tunes pianos, but he becomes a safecracker. And then it's all about him using his special hearing in order to get some money, but then he has to battle the gangsters somehow. It looks cool and different. Still hanging in theaters is Hoppers for some reason, 85K. It's actually up, weirdly enough, by 46%. Might be the movie you're taking your kids to see again. Shrek is back in theaters. How did Shrek not beat Hoppers? It's in more theaters. That's weird. Silent Friend, the tree movie, 62K. Not sure why this really is still in theaters at all. Way down is Saccharin, 56K. It's in 385 theaters. This looked like a sort of a low rent version of The Substance. I don't know why they keep doing these body dysmorphia movies, but this has got to be like the 5th or 6th one, and this is within 2 years. I mean, The Substance was pretty decent, and ever since they just keep coming out with them. Did everybody hear about Demi Moore and all? And they're all directed by women, by the way. I'm pretty sure they were all either written or directed by women or both. And it's like, ladies, I get it. You have little body dysmorphia, but my God, how many times can you see this movie? There was even one made, I forget what it was called, but it's made in like the 1800s. Looks totally gross. They're all gross. They're all about tearing your body apart. And I don't know a woman who has seen these kinds of movies except for The Substance. And I think the only reason my girlfriend saw The Substance is I kind of wanted to see it for Margaret Qualley. And she'd said, oh, I'll watch it with you. She watches everything now. Deepwater, poor Aaron Eckhart, 26K. The Wizard of the Kremlin, 24K. Animal Farm, you shame me, Andy Serkis, 21K. It's 21K more than you deserve. This movie, put this movie out of its misery, take it out of theaters, and don't ever show it on anywhere ever again. After that is The Python Hunt, 4K. Mad Bills to Pay or Destiny, Dile que no soy malo, 3K. I don't know what that is. And John Lilly and the Earth Coincidence Control Office, $449. A grand total of $172,571,804. Okay. It's not bad, actually. I mean, it is a Memorial Day weekend. We got tomorrow to go. I will look at the box office sometime later in the week to get a final total on the weekend. But, yeah. It's interesting. Maybe I'll do another live stream tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know, who knows? But that is the box office. So not much to write home about. Mandalorian and Grogu sort of, you know, really this movie should have done 200 million. I mean, we all know that. It should have done 200 million domestically, 300 million overseas. It should have been the biggest opening in, movie history in a long time, but it's just not. Because I don't think there's an urgency to see it. There's just not. And we've talked about this movie quite a bit. Everybody's talked it to death. And in some respects, how can you live up to the Star Wars franchise at all? It's really tough. If you go too far afield, people will say, oh, this isn't Star Wars. And if you do too much of the same thing, you kind of get Mandalorian and Grogu. And I really think Mandalorian and Grogu is just more of the same. It's Boba Fett and Yoda. I mean, you could have basically done the same concept with completely different characters, right? The veteran, the little guy. But, it's just, to me, it's just retread. Retread after retread after retread. And as a creator myself, I just have no interest in retreading this kind of stuff. Star Wars, they're really beating a dead horse here. And part of the problem is this. They didn't take the novels. Yeah. Disney was very foolish. They spent $1 billion acquiring every novel, everything Star Wars. They acquired it all. I mean, you don't spend $1 billion and not get everything. So they had it all. So you have deep, deep lore in the Star Wars universe that would have been great for these movies. Oh, it would have been amazing. Deep, deep lore that they could have, put on the screen. And Star Wars fans know this. They know the lore of how Palpatine comes back because he clones himself, and how Luke gets married, has kids, gets seduced by the dark side at one point, and then has to come back. And I mean, there's all sorts of stories that they could have done. There are comic books. Dark Horse did comic book after comic book. I assume they own all of them. There are other novels that go into all kinds of lore. And yet, what did they focus on? Hollywood focused, as always, on Hollywood. Stuff that was created in the movies. Like Darth Maul, right? So they got all this lore, right? They've got failed prequels, failed sequels. What do? Oh, let's get something from a failed prequel and put that in a show. And we'll do a Darth Maul show. Never mind all the dozens of novels you got and video games too. It's just amazing. Let's do Mandalorian and Grogu because for 10 minutes 5 years ago people liked this show only because you put Luke Skywalker in it, in my opinion. But yeah, it's all about Pedro Pascal and his stupid mustache and his stupid face. God, that guy, you got to stop using him. You really do. Pedro Pascal should be done. All right? Now, he could have saved himself a whole lot of hassle if he just shaved his mustache for the Fantastic Four movie. Everybody would have been talking about it. Oh, Pedro Pascal shaved his mustache for the Fantastic Four movie. And he could have done an interview where he's like, yeah, I really wanted to be true to the characters. And then fans would have said, well, you know what? He's Latino. He's not really Mr. Fantastic. He's more of Mr. Fantastic Co. But they would have appreciated that. Put a little gray on the temples. He would have at least been trying to look the part. His effort would have been appreciated by fans. Instead, no, it's just Pedro Pascal not shaving his mustache and letting his wife be the hero. God, Hollywood, stop. Just stop. Ladies, for once, listen to the men. For once. I know you can't listen to the men. Oh, men are stupid. Men are dumb. They didn't want me in this position. Men have suggestions, especially when it comes to movies. According to you, we're the only ones who have been making movies for the last 100 years, so why not listen to us? No, other people have voices. We have to listen to them. They haven't made movies before. And this is the result. A collapsing movie industry. Collapsing movie studios. Collapsing video games, comic books. All of media is collapsing because you're too stubborn to just use some of the old guys. And they're all dying off, so pretty soon a lot of that accumulated wisdom will be gone. And you'll be lesser for it. Oh, but don't worry. You could go to the grave still screaming, I was right, Kathleen Kennedy. Was I talking about Kathleen Kennedy? I guess I was, maybe. I don't know. Just my opinion. Anyhow, let's get into the trades. Oh, there he is. There he is. Mandalorian to hit 102 million. For the first time in nearly 7 years, Star Wars fans finally have a reason to go to the movies. Really? There's another movie out? Yeah, so tomorrow will top in another 20 million, apparently, according to their predictors. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. How's that stack up against Solo? I don't know. What was Solo's first weekend? Let's see. There it is. Opening weekend was 84. 84. Okay. So that's not as much, but it costs way more. Holy crap, that costs money. 330 million, according to this. But yeah, so it doesn't look like Mandalorian and Grogu will lose as much money. But I think it will lose money. I think it will. But you won't know that from Variety until a month from now, when they could say, oh yeah, it lost money. Like they always predicted it, in my opinion. Probably. Javier Bardem, Mark Ruffalo, and Ken Loach join petition against Vince Bollier. Who's that? A wave of international stars, including Javier Bardem, Mark Ruffalo, and Ken Loach, have joined the petition warning against signatories to describe as far-right grip tightening around the industry through Canal Plus and its billionaire shareholder. So you're just against him because he's not left-wing? Originally launched in head of Cannes, roughly 600 French film professionals, the petition was ballooned to more than 3,500 signatures in the wake of comments made by Canal Plus CEO Maxime Sada during the festival. Speaking at his producer's lunch last weekend, Sada said he no longer wished to work with artists who signed the petition, declaring, I don't want to work with people who call me a crypto-fascist. Yeah, I wouldn't want to work with them either. The petition, spearheaded by the collective Zapper Bollier, criticizes Bollier's expanding footprint in French media and entertainment, including Canal Plus's planned acquisition of 34% stake in cinema giant UGC. Signatories argue that the consolidation risks concentrating unprecedented influence over film financing, distribution, and exhibition in the hands of a conservative media empire. Oh no, not a conservative media empire, increasingly associated with right-wing editorial politics in the run-up to the next presidential election. Okay, I see nothing wrong here. So far, what has he done? Just because he doesn't share your politics, now we're just banning people from the politics. Okay, let's do this. Why don't you actors get all your money together and buy a distributor and buy a film studio and make your damn lefty films? And then we'll put them up against the right wing and see whose movies do better. I'm pretty sure I know who the winner will be. The right wing guys will come out on top bigly. And you'll still be making nonsense like, oh, I don't know, one battle after another. Yeah, you can make those movies. And you could market them to your broke commie friends. You know, the ones who hate capitalism, hate that you make money at all. Unbelievable. What else is going on here? Cannes Grand Prix winner Andrei, holy crap, look at that name, Zvyagintsev uses acceptance speech to address Putin. All right, so now we're going after Putin. The only person who can stop this butchery is the president of the Russian Federation. Put an end to this carnage. The whole world is waiting for it. I hope he does. I don't think he'll do it because of you. But sure, hopefully he does. They look like they're kind of heading in that direction again. But I don't know. Apparently there was a strike on a dormitory in Russia. The Ukrainians, every time they seem to get close, somebody sets off a bomb. And the Ukrainians especially don't want an end to this war. I think the Ukrainians don't want an end to the war unless they can get back all their land, which seems incredibly unrealistic at this point. The Russians will gain their... And they want to actually not only gain land, to get their land back, they want a foothold into beating Russia someday, I think. I mean, I think they're that ambitious. But that's just totally unrealistic. I don't know if Zelensky is the guy really leading the Ukraine, or really it's us behind the scenes or other actors, but you know, what happened to all the actors supporting the Ukraine? You don't hear them. You don't hear a peep about the Ukraine anymore. Yeah, it's out of vogue. That's what happens with actors. Something goes out of vogue. It's like, oh yeah, I used to do that. Yeah, I used to go to Ukraine and give them my Oscar, but not anymore. Peaky Blinders sequel. First look, Charles Shelby is all grown up as the Stranger Things star. Charlie Heaton steps out into the role of Tommy's, I guess this is Tommy's son. Yeah. Oh, he looks good in that. Yeah, he looks kind of, he's got the same kind of haircut. Yeah, he looks good that way. Charlie Heaton is swapping the 80s for the 50s. Yeah, he's got sort of Cillian Murphy's look. Let's see. Tom Hardy out of Mobland Season 3 and Season 2 wraps production. So I guess they're going to kill him off, probably. I think that would be a disaster for the show. But I don't know. I've heard great things about Mobland. They say he's a problem. Or Helen Mirren apparently says he's a problem, but I don't know. Stephen Colbert follows CBS finale 24 hours later with hilarious hour at Michigan Public Access TV featuring Jack White, Jeff Dan. What is this? So he went from doing CBS and now he's on Michigan Public Access TV. Okay. Why? And why did all these celebrities follow him on Michigan Public Access? It's weird. Is he auditioning for something? Shouldn't you be working on a crappy Lord of the Rings script, Steven? Euphoria Season 3 and The Strange Case of Rue's Mostly Missing Mom. I so don't care about Euphoria. I don't use this word often, but Euphoria looks like a degenerate show. I mean, it really just looks like it's a show for degenerates with what they make Sydney Sweeney apparently do. Guys, stop watching porn on the internet and work on your show. Go out and touch grass. Holy F, that show looks god-awful. Let's see. Star Citizen hits $1 billion in lifetime funding. Cloud Imperium chiefs Reveal fan impact. Squadron 42 closing stages game update. Okay. Not sure what's going on there. Have to check in with Razorfist, see if he knows anything. Maybe he'll do something on his videos. Michael nears 800 million. It's not going to make $1 billion, but that's best biopic ever. Man behind the Mandalorian, how Brendan Wayne became Pedro Pascal's body double and channeled his grandfather, John Wayne. Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know he was related to John Wayne. I'm sure you're going to see Brendan on the con circuit. That sounds like a gig that'll definitely get you at the cons. Come see the Mandalorian! And then it's him. I mean, he is the Mandalorian. Probably more of the Mandalorian than Pedro Pascal is. My Hero Academia final season lands top prize at 10th Annual Crunchy Anime Awards. People love that show. The weebs love it. All right. Getting into Fandom Pulse. Sharon Lee on writing through cancer. Rough. Forgotten Craft and Clan Corval's Enduring Universe. Good luck with the cancer. That's a shame. Milwaukee settles with former sci-fi writer Patrick S. Tomlinson for $575,000 for swatting calls. So, they settled with him? He got swatted? Documented 45 police responses to the couple's home for over 2 years, driven by false emergency calls. Why does the city have to pay that? I mean, that doesn't seem like the city should pay that. It should be the guys who made the calls. Should be able to track them down. I mean, it's the boy who cried wolf, right? God forbid Tomlinson has an actual emergency. You know, I don't know why they gave him money. That's weird. Spartacus DEI spinoff Axed. I talked about this in another video. Helen of Troy claps back. Comic shops closed. Yeah, this House of Asher. It canceled and Stars said the audience was wrong. Yeah. Okay, we'll make a different show then. So the audience will call you right and watch it. Nolan's Odysee cast explains what they did to Homer and implied criticism and racism. You're going to hear a lot of this. Come on. We all know this playbook by now. They're going to put out a movie. They're going to put out Supergirl. They're going to call it sexist that fans didn't go see it, even though it'll probably be mostly men seeing that movie. And they're going to put out the Odysee, and they're going to call it, oh, the racist wouldn't let us see it. Yeah, like, a racist has never stopped me from seeing a movie ever. Racists don't stop anybody. Racists don't stand outside of theaters going, oh, don't see this movie. I'm a racist. Yeah, it's just... The reason they're not going to go see this movie is it looks incredibly pretentious. And it looks more about your DEI politics and virtue signaling than it does about Homer's Odyssey. It looks like, once again, you're trying to do social engineering and trying to change history, and you just can't do that. I had a professor, and I say this all the time, they said, all great art is unconscious. And what that means is, you do the art, and then the great part just sort of comes out, you know, if it's great, it just sort of happens. No one can really explain it, you know? Sometimes a great piece of art is recognized immediately and it explodes, And sometimes the author or the creator is long dead. Long dead. Nobody, you know, Philip K. Dick was kind of like that, although he was around when they were making movies based after his stuff. But really, he was a genius. And he worked in obscurity, I think, for a lot of, not obscurity, but, you know, he wasn't super famous or anything in his time. There are plenty other artists like that, too. Sometimes artists are just discovered. So when you try to say, oh, I'm going to, you know, make this, I mean, it's nice to have ambition and everything, but when it comes to movies, the great movies were made during a time when movies didn't have these insane budgets. It was all about the art, because that was it. That was the only way to get to go people see movies. Now they have all these tricks to get you to go see a movie. And they've worked in terms of the money sometimes, but now the tricks are failing. The tricks are really failing now. You know? There's only so much you can do to get people to go see a movie now. Most people are either not interested in movies anymore because you can watch them at home, or they've been burned so many times, like me, you know, as a movie goer, as a guy who watched movies all his life. I've been burned countless times by movies. I've shown up to a movie expecting one thing and gotten completely ripped off. Completely ripped off. So when you do stuff like this in a movie, Christopher Nolan, and you think, oh, well, they're going to trust me. No, we don't trust you. Your credibility in this area is shot. Hollywood's credibility is shot. All these celebrities you put in the movie, they have no credibility. They have no currency with most people. The only guy in this movie who has a little bit of cred, I would say Tom Holland to some extent, Robert Pattinson a little bit. That's about it. That's about it. Anne Hathaway, maybe. Matt Damon, maybe. But when you start adding Elliot Page, look. Elliot Page, I feel bad for her, him, whatever. But, you know, there's only so many roles you can put Elliot Page in. Now, if you want to do modern stuff, sure. But, you know, Elliot Page, I don't know what I mean, I had a suggestion back during the Ezra Miller days, was to swap out Ezra Miller for Elliot Page. Because she had the body type of Ezra Miller and of the Flash, and you could then sort of trump the wokies in Hollywood and say, well, you can't get mad at me that I fired Ezra Miller because now I hired Elliot Page. And then no one could be mad you swapped out Elliot Page. With the fans? Oh, the fans were already mad. Didn't matter at that point, I think, but whatever. But for the Odyssey, like, Elliot Page's situation screams modern day. They didn't have that situation in ancient Greece. It just wasn't going to happen. Just didn't happen. And Elliot Page is going to, whoever she plays, I would assume she's going to play a man. And again, it's all about the look in Hollywood. So if Elliot Page looks the part, okay. Like Elliot Page could probably play, if I had to pick a role for the Odyssey, like, I don't know, is Hermes in the Odyssey? Because I think Elliot Page could play Hermes, because Elliot's so skinny, right? And Hermes was a runner, like the speedster of the gods. I don't know. She could play somebody's young son, because she looks so young and looks boyish. The rumor is she's playing Achilles, which, if that's the case, I mean, movie over. Movie done. Christopher Nolan done. man, I'm getting a call from Flemington. Hold on, I gotta take this. Sorry about that. I had to take that call. That is about the book fair tomorrow. So, otherwise, I would have let it go. Sorry. Anyhow, I did my rant about Nolan on my video, so go check out that if you want to hear me lose my damn mind. Dark Horse just closed the comic book store chain that built it, and the industry can't afford to pretend this is normal. Look, comic book stores are kind of doomed. Unless you switch over, the only kind of comic book store that I see lasting is not really a comic book store. It's more of like a vintage store or a game store. Like, game stores can live on games and have comics in the store too. Like, I go sometimes to the comic book store. I've done events there. It's over near the college. People, college kids will come in and buy Magic cards and Pokemon, and then they'll do comics too. I think the comics section probably will get smaller and smaller, and they'll probably eventually marginalize the comics to the point where, you could buy comics if you want, kind of thing, but we're mostly games. But we'll see. I mean, they are called the comic book stores, so it's a bit problematic if they completely get rid of the comics. But you would make your money on the games, mostly card games and trading cards, and then the comic books would be and also ran. I don't think you could really make money on comics anymore. You could do the vintage stuff, you can buy and sell, but most of those guys realized a while ago you're better off without the store. Unless you got a really sweet deal in terms of your store, and in terms of rent, in terms of a location. And again, you need to diversify. You can't just sell comics anymore. You used to be able to. You can, I know guys who do video, they do a lot of manga. You could do it that way, probably with manga. You could probably sell manga and American comics. But, the days of the general comic book store, unless you have a sweet, sweet deal for rent, good luck. The stores around me, there's one guy still hanging on. He's got a nice, tiny store, but he's sort of the last man standing. He's kind of the last guy in the area. There's a couple other bigger stores. The bigger stores, there's one in a mall. It's kind of got comics, but it also has like wrestling and other pop culture, action figures, that kind of stuff. I don't know how he's still open. He's got 2 stores actually. And then, if you're a pop culture store, you can carry comics, but you're not going to carry them in any kind of volume that a comic book collector will like. But that's okay too now, because, it's the hot comics and then nothing. And if you're going to buy back issues, you're better off going online anyway. So I'm not surprised by this. The model is dead. And you could blame the publishers for that. 100%. The publishers killed the golden goose. They just got greedy. They got bigger and bigger, or they tried to get bigger and bigger. And once they got bought by corporate guys, it was over. It was pretty much over for comics. it's just been, you know, a slow sort of milking of the industry until there'll be nothing left. You know, until everybody is sick of Marvel and DC and superheroes, that they'll just all go away, except for, you know, Batman and Superman and Spider-Man. That'll be it. Maybe the Hulk. So the comic books just don't matter anymore is the problem. And the new model for creator is to do a Kickstarter, do your own thing, write, draw, everything, and build a following that way. Sometimes online by doing live streams or whatever, like Eric, what's the name? What's his face? I forgot his name. Rippaverse guy. You know, Eric July. That's his name. You know, he built up a fan base and then he did comics. Yellow Flash did it. A few other guys did it. But, yeah, I mean, you kind of like, you're building up a fan base on YouTube. You can kind of get people to buy, you know, whatever. Because they're just supporting you on the YouTube channel, and then hopefully whatever you're selling kind of ties into that. I mean, Mr. Beast did it with food. All right, moving on. Sad. Sad Tomlinson. Hollywood and Toto. I meant to do Hollywood Reporter, but let's take a look. Obsession director is shaming Hollywood to the core. Yeah, he really is. If it only cost $1 million, that's an amazing thing. This Trump derangement victim is the saddest case of all. How could it be any sadder than all the other cases? Comedy legend goes full MS now. Oh, place your bets. Comedy legend. It can't be Colbert. He's not old enough to be a comedy legend. Comedy legend. All right, I have to look. I don't even know. Whoopi Goldberg? No, it can't be Whoopi Goldberg. She's not a comedy legend. Echoing a lie she told during the 2024 presidential election, trying to scare people into voting for Kamala, Whoopi claims Trump and the conservatives are trying to outlaw interracial marriages. No, she says something like this like every other week. Stars like Robert De Niro, Mark Ruffalo, Mark Hamill, yeah, all those guys. Trey Parker of South Park fame has succumbed to Trump derangement syndrome. And yes, boy, does it show. Yeah, I gotta agree with this now. I mean, I defended these guys for a while. They're talking about South Park. Took a hard left pivot. The show skewered Trump and J.D. Vance and blah, 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 week after week after week. Yeah. Yeah. Now, Razorfist would point out that they always were sort of left. I still could look. They skewered Hillary Clinton and a few other lefties, but I mean, he's right now. I mean, obviously they're just going far, far left. Why did South Park abandon its both sides mantra? We just got our answer. Parker spoke this week on the TV Academy Awards Gala where he picked up a trophy. What took you so effing long? He joked about the hour. He used the podium time to praise his fearless staff. They're putting their lives on the line, literally to fight the Orange Man. There's always groups telling you what you can and can't say. Now that group has a military, so it's scarier. They have to be fearless. It's no accident that South Park's getting awards. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest red flag of all. That these guys went on Jimmy Kimmel, that Kimmel even had them on. Shows you, yeah, you're accepted. You're now part of the establishment. Congratulations. Congratulations, I guess, if that's what you wanted. Now it's South Park's turn for Hollywood honors. Parker couldn't be giddier. He and fellow South Park creator Matt Stone are leaning into the Hollywood adulation. Yeah, this is him telling the story of how they created Donald Trump's penis. I mean, it's just too much, dude. Enjoy your money, I guess. Enjoy your money. Yeah, That is sad. All right, I want to go to the Hollywood Reporter. Typed in the wrong thing. Let's see. Hollywood Reporter, kill him, recast him, or send him upstairs. What Mobland should do with Tom Hardy. I wouldn't recast Tom Hardy. I'd pity the poor actor who had to follow in his footsteps. Probably should just end the show. I mean, it's going to become the Helen Mirren show, apparently. Let's see. Laz Alonso on his Boys the spinoff pitch, how Mother's Milk story feeds into Vought Rising. Who the F cares? The fans are not happy with the ending of The Boys. You think you're gonna make this show work? Vought Rising? That's gonna be a disaster, man. You've just given every fan of The Boys permission to dump it, to dump everything. How did that other show work out? I forget what that was called. It was the high school version of The Boys. All these spin-offs of The Boys for some insane reason. The Boys was not meant to have a spin-off. The Boys was not meant to go this long, in my view. It wasn't even meant to go that long as a comic book. Max Immortal went like 4 issues. That deconstructed superheroes. The Watchmen went 12. The Boys, and again, it was about comic books. It wasn't really about TV shows. So, and look, I'm guilty of the same thing. I did some of that kind of stuff in my writing and some of my stories, but God, I did that back in the 90s, dude. It's funny how behind a lot of TV and movie people are. They're doing stuff from 30 years ago. It's amazing. All right, moving on. Jesus, Stephen Colbert's best late show moments. Just let it die. Just let the show go off the air. What are you gonna do? Keep propping him up? For what? He's done. They're not bringing it back. Byron Allen is doing a new show. Why don't you talk about that? Jesus. What is this? Hollywood Ghost and the Croisset? Queer cinema owns it and AI crashes the party. 5 takeaways from Con 2026. Well, I got one takeaway. Sounds like you're not doing anything new. Sounds like you're still obsessed with LGBTQIA 2S+++. Who cares? God. Moment you see that word, a word like that, it's one of the woke words, queer. Out. I'm out. Heist comedy Above the Line, starring Sophia Ali and Cedric the Entertainer, sets release. Good, now I know to avoid that. Mandalorian and Grogu won't lose money. It may not rescue Star Wars either. I don't know about not losing money. I think it might. It's going to be close. It was a lot cheaper to make. Bungie has no plans for Destiny 3, faced with significant layoffs according to reports. That doesn't sound good. Gee, I wonder why all these video game companies are going out. It couldn't be that they all went woke and released these crazy woke games. If you had told me 20 years ago, the video game companies are going to go woke, and yeah, they're going to release these ridiculous games that have pronouns in them, I would have been like, you're out of your mind. Only guys play video games. I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? Over at Deadline, let's see. HBO teases new look at Harry Potter. Who cares? Baywatch teaser. Oh, this I want to look at. Faces hit the beach in Fox first promo. Who cares about the faces? Okay. That's it. I gotta watch the video. Hold on. I gotta play this so I don't play this out. I can't do it. Nuts. How do I play it without the sound? Hold on. Let me turn off the sound on my computer. I hope this doesn't ruin. Same beat. All right, Livy Dunn. Nice. She looks like she couldn't save anyone. She's like so small. I can't back and forth. Wow. All right. Yeah, it looks fine. Let me put my volume back up. It looks fine. Good job, Baywatch people. I knew some of the crew on the old Baywatch. I wonder if any of those guys are still doing it. LA mayor race heads to primary day with Karen Bass and Spencer Pratt in front, but there's little joy in Mudville. So does that mean Pratt's going to win? I hope so. It'll be pretty amazing if he does. It'd be great. I don't know, man. Seems, I mean, it looks like right now Pratt could win because it looks like the commie vote is split. But the moment, I think they have the ranked choice voting. Do they have the ranked choice voting in LA? Because then they'll do a runoff of 2 and all the commies will go to whatever commie candidate you have. Unfortunately. What else we got? Here's more on Star Wars. Now they're saying 97 to 98 million for Mandalorian and Grogu. Maybe not hit 100. Phil Collins says he does not contemplate performing live again. I can't really see it happening, but I'm healthier now than I have been for a while. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. Because he's had some medical problems. Oh, glad to hear he's on the mend to some extent. He was the king. Oh my God, back in the 80s, holy cow, you couldn't turn on the radio without hearing Phil Collins. Florence Pugh, who? Starrer, Midnight Library, heading to Cannes Market, biggest deal in multiple studios chasing. Okay, not sure why. I don't really get the appeal of Florence Pugh. Who? I mean, she's good looking enough, I guess, but I don't know. What movie was she really great in? I'd struggle to name the movie that made her famous. I know it wasn't that Thunderbolts movie. Bleeding Fool, Supergirl star sparks backlash with Christian dad snub. Yeah, I don't really get Miley's strategy here. But you keep calling everybody on the internet trolls that don't like your movie. But you're basically calling all the fans of Supergirl this. They just don't get it. Supergirl does not have a massive fan base of women. She just doesn't. Supergirl they attempted in comics to create a massive fan base of women to read Supergirl. It just never happened. Girls don't read comics, generally speaking. The one comic women would read when they were very young would be Archie and Veronica. Archie, Betty, and Veronica. They love that one. Why? Because it's about relationships. It's the love triangle, and it's about high schoolers dating, and it's just light and airy, and everybody likes Archie. Everybody starts with Archie if you read comics. But girls then would stop reading comics. They just did. There was nothing, like some of them would go to like when Barbie had a comic. That was a little older for slightly older girls. But they would almost never graduate to Supergirl, Wonder Woman, or any of that stuff. It's superhero. They don't like that. What is the comic about? It's just a female version of Superman punching aliens. That's it. That's all it ever was. So, the girls don't like that. Like if you had issues where Supergirl gets a pony and buys some shoes and gets a boyfriend, then girls would probably go, oh, that's interesting. What's going on there? Who's she dating? Like, that's the kind of appeal for a female audience. Relationships and stuff that they like. Punching aliens? No, they don't like that. they don't want to see violence in their stories. They're not visually oriented like boys are. Boys are visually oriented, and that's why there was primary colors in all the superhero designs. And women got into comics, and guess what? They jettisoned the primary colors, and all the boys complained. Or just stopped reading comics. And comics have to be cheap because they're supposed to be for kids. So if you wanted little girls to read Supergirl, it would be, you would have these comics show up in like Five Below, right? Or stores that sold young women's clothes. And then the comics would look like, and have stories like fashion magazines. It wouldn't have cool stories about aliens and fighting monsters. That would be for the boys. I mean, I don't know why I got to keep explaining it, but Hollywood just refuses to acknowledge reality. They think, no. Supergirl is for girls, and we're going to get girls to watch a Superman movie. You're not. The Marvels was the most girly girl superhero movie in history, and still the majority of men saw it. The audience numbers came out, and it was mostly men seeing the damn movie, which is sad. A sad state of men. But if you can't get women to go see the Marvels, which centered around a wedding and had a musical bit in it and starred nothing but women, you think they're going to come out to see Supergirl? No. Hollywood flaunts its addiction to evil in Nolan's The Odyssey. Well, that's a bit hyperbolic, but it is going to be an S show. So let's just enjoy it. Let's just enjoy The Odyssey burning. And maybe finally Hollywood would learn its lesson. Oh, people don't like it when we turn everything into a modern interpretation of our stupid politics. Oh, maybe people don't want to live like we live in California, in garbage with homeless people, apparently. So yeah, just let it come out and just don't go see it. I mean, that'll be the biggest FU at all. If people just don't go see The Odyssey. I mean, imagine a movie like that did, $100,000. Everybody in Hollywood would have a heart attack. It would be amazing. Oh, the reactions would be amazing. No one goes to see literally no one. Like, it's in theaters and they're just empty. They're just empty of people. That would be amazing. And, it's a $250 million movie and they lose like $225 million. It would be incredible. That's what should happen. But people, they're sheep. They'll see the commercials. They don't really follow this stuff. They probably don't even know about the whole thing, the whole controversy with Helen of Troy. They'll just go. They'll just watch it. Oh, how bad could it be? And some of them will defend it, because when you create an expectation that they're going to hate it, and then they don't hate it, maybe it's not good, but they don't hate it, then they'll defend it and say, well, it wasn't that bad. So, I wouldn't. This is maybe part of that strategy. They realize, like, oh, this movie isn't going to do well, but maybe if we create a atmosphere where everybody's expecting to hate it, and then people go to see it, and then they don't hate it, then maybe other people will go see it. But that's a pretty low bar. It's a very low bar. And for a $250 million movie, that sounds like a disaster too. But I am very psyched for the box office of the Odyssey. Even more so than Mandalorian and Grogu. Like, I don't even care about Mando and Gugu or whatever. Who cares? I just, I couldn't even be bothered. You know, back in the day, I interviewed Harlan Ellison, and he had the old man sort of like, movies today, comics today. And I always thought, oh man, give it a chance, Harlan. And now I 100% understand that attitude. Like 100%. Because essentially you got people younger than me making movies, and I just want to like shake them and go, what the hell are you doing? Where's the character? Where's the damn story? Who wrote this crap? But I mean, I do like some new things. I liked Project Hail Mary. That was good. What did I just see yesterday? Oh, They Will Kill You. That was pretty good. I got to do my review of that. That was pretty good. And I also saw Dust Bunny, which wasn't bad. I kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't like spectacular, but it was good. Mark Pliers' Iron Lung to hit YouTube May 31st after box office win. I'm going to watch that. 100% I'll watch that. Brilliant, dude. Brilliant putting it on YouTube. I hope he puts it on his own channel and he breaks YouTube's records for the most hits. What else here? Boundless creator launches cross-media fantasy hub. What the hell's that? Independent creator Mike Salisbury launched a new digital storytelling platform that signals a push towards creator-owned fantasy worlds at a time when the entertainment industry is under pressure to deliver fresh intellectual property. The site brings together multiple original projects under one hub with a focus on long-form world building across media expansion. So, what is it? It's like comics? I guess it's like web comics. Yeah, looks that way. I'll tell you, webcomics, in terms of webcomics, fantasy does the best. Because you could just go on and on and on with fantasy. And if you got a good, artist like this, that's why, you really, this isn't fantasy. I mean, I guess it is fantasy, but it's got a plane in it. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, you could just go on and on and on. It's kind of amazing. I read this 500-page epic one time. Oh, God, I can't even remember what the title was, but it was pretty good. I just got into it and just burned through all the pages. By the way, you could always burn through some pages over at the Webcomic Factory for my fantasy comic, which is called Pandemonium, which we just entered in a new phase of the comic. We've been cranking those out. We're about, what are we at? Like 180 pages, something like that. Over at the Wrap, more on Mango and Grogu. Spider-Norm team on reviving a classic film genre for a new generation with Nicolas Cage's help. If you keep it short, I think this Spider-Norm could be fun, but I don't see any long-term stuff for that. I would hate to see you guys, it's the kind of thing that could get great ratings for the first season, right? And then they're like, oh, this is a huge hit. We got to do like 5 seasons of this. And then the next thing you know, they're planning a movie, and you're just like, oh, no, dude, don't do a movie. But we'll see. Game of Thrones actress details wellness cult that sent her to the hospital. I was looking for something to fix me. Oh, how'd that work out? Yeah, don't join a cult, everybody. White House gunshots captured by ABC News' Selena Wang as press flee to safety. Yeah, yet another attempt on Trump. Crazy. Basically a flat-out attack on the White House. There are more whack jobs in this country than people care to admit. This is why we got to have some kind of mental health revamp in this country. I mean, it's kind of low on the list. It always is, but you need to bring back asylums. I mean, they could be nice asylums. They don't have to be the 1950s, oh, let's zap this dude's brain sort of asylums. But you just need places where these people can't leave. They're monitored because they're crazy. And if they, I think if you had like a campus with the higher functional ones, and they're allowed to kind of roam around the campus and exercise and live there and kind of live out their lives being crazy, hopefully, you'd be okay. But I think that's part of the problem. Like, the asylums were all inside, and I think after a while you do go a little, it makes you a little nuts. You're just trapped inside all day. I think you do need outside trees and fresh air and stuff. So, all right. Over at Cosmic Book News, Jesus, Zack Snyder fuels Ben Affleck return hype. I don't think he's coming back. I really don't want to see Zack Snyder come back, but Lupita Nyong'o accused of double standard after Black Panther comments resurfaced. Lupita, do yourself a favor. Stop talking. The worst thing you could do is fan the flames of this. That's the worst thing. Oh my God, Joe Meir Hobbs is here. Hi, Joe Meir Hobbs. I didn't even see you there. Been talking to myself for like an hour. Thanks for coming in. Feel free to make comments. But yeah, Lupita should just, I don't even care what she said. Lupita, just don't answer. Don't try to argue with the internet. It's ridiculous. Look, I just had a comment on the internet about one of my videos. I don't care. Who cares? I could have 1,000 comments like that. I still would care very little. The only kind of comments I care, like if there's constructive criticism, okay. It sounds a little low. I get that all the time. Sometimes it's my fault. Sometimes it's the settings on your computer. If somebody says, oh, you should brush your hair or something stupid like that, okay, that's a fair criticism. I get people who criticize me for my politics, like, dude, what are you doing? Get a life. I don't care. And I have no problem banning people. I have no problem at all doing that. Anybody who gets rude to me, I just ban them. I never see them again. Who cares? It's not a democracy in here. I've recently done that on the Webcomic Factory. I don't know if you're listening, guy who keeps commenting on this one Tales of Pizza strip he didn't like. I just keep deleting your comment because I don't like it and I don't want it underneath the comic. I don't want people to see your comment. Sorry. If you don't like, look, I treat people like I would like to be treated. So if I saw a webcomic or a video or whatever that I didn't like, I just click off. I just go somewhere else. I don't care. The only sort of things I will comment on is, to criticize it is something that should have been good, right? Something that is either factually wrong, well, I think you got that wrong, or someone who should have made a good, like if Will Smith, makes a video and it's outrageously bad, he's got all the money in the world. It shouldn't be bad. I might weigh in and say, this video sucks. Will Smith, the hell are you doing? You got all the money in the world. Like, if you have all the money in the world, your videos shouldn't suck. I don't have all the money in the world. I don't. I watch Sticks and Hammer. I don't think he has much money anymore. But his videos were always very low key. There are plenty of other guys like that. But if you're a studio and you're presenting me a show that you spent money on, it ought to be good. And if you've got millions of dollars, then it should be damn good. I should be like, this is the greatest show I've ever seen. That's why I criticize Mandalorian and Grogu and the Odysee and movies like that. There's no excuse for spending $250 million, and Mandalorian and Grogu only spent 165. There's no excuse. If you spend more than $10 million on any movie, there's really no excuse for it being bad. None. Spider-Man Brand New Day unleashes new suit, the Hand, and the Hulk tech. So the Spider-Man franchise, the current one's pretty damn golden in my book. That's, to me, your standard. The current Spider-Man movies. Every one of them's good. They spent a lot of money, and I could see that money on the screen. End of story. Like, if you're not making movies as good as Spider-Man and you're spending $100 million, $200 million, stop. Fire that person. Find someone else. Do something different. Maybe get out of the movie industry. Just saying, Disney. Just saying. GTA 6 delays fears shut down by Take-Two bosses. We feel really good about it. Okay, just release the damn thing. Obsession box office. New Blumhouse horror movies becoming a big hit. Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't see this one coming. I thought it would just kind of come and go. Congratulations. I mean, she's pretty hot. I'm sure that has something to do with it. Crazy hot chick? Yeah. Never seen that before. There's Zack Snyder. Don't care. Oh, here's the AI video of Donald Trump throwing Stephen Colbert into a dumpster. It was pretty funny. Miley Alcock mocking Christians adds to Supergirl backlash. Well, she said Christian dads for some reason. I don't know why she said that. It's just dumb. Most of this we already covered. Yeah, all the same stuff. Elon Musk fires back at The Boys showrunner Eric Kripke after finale reaction. This was big this week. Talked about this a lot. Eric Kripke turned The Boys into his own personal soapbox, apparently. I don't know. I stopped watching it after season 1. I heard it started go woke, and then I was like, meh. I don't need this. I don't need this in my life. The moment I hear woke, I'm out. I'm out. That's why I'm not going to go see the Odysee. I'm out. Okay? So congratulations, Eric Kripke. I didn't watch your show. I don't support your show. And now, the moment I hear, oh, Eric Kripke is running a show, I'm out. Just like Damon Lindelof. I heard he was on Lanterns. I'm out. Oh, don't you want to see the trailer at least? No. And I did see the trailer, and it pretty much confirmed everything I needed to know. I'm out. I have only so much time in this life. I don't want to waste it watching bad TV and movies anymore. I did that plenty in the 80s and 90s, thank you very much, and the 70s. Oh my God, in the 70s, we didn't have the internet at all. Had to watch whatever was on TV. Yeah, so the moment I hear Eric Kripke is involved in any way, even if he's just a consultant, I'm like, nah, sounds like a huge red flag to me. Goodbye. Until Eric Kripke hopefully doesn't have a career anymore in Hollywood. Maybe he could go and spend his... I mean, he did 5 seasons of The Boys, so I'm sure he's got a few million. Let's see what he's worth. I wonder if Eric Kripke will even be on here, but... Eric Kripke? Nah, he's not going to be on here. He's not famous enough. Oh, I guess this is him. Yep. $10 million. That's more than enough to retire. More than enough. Get out of LA. Buy yourself a nice, modest home out in the sticks. Yeah, you can live a good life with $10 million. Sure. Absolutely. You just manage your money. With that kind of money, you know, after your dog news is here. Good day to you, sir. Thank you for joining. Yeah, with $10 million, you could go out, get yourself a nice house in Iowa somewhere, and just put your money in the bank and various investments. This isn't financial advice. This is just what I've heard. You make, let's say you make 5% back on your investment, right? You'll be making tens of thousands of dollars. And then you use that to cover your expenses and do whatever you want. That's my dream. That's always been my dream, by the way. When I was a kid, I said, ooh, if I could get $1 million and put it in the bank, you know, I didn't know much about investing. Then I could just live. I could do whatever I want. And my goal was to just get up every day and go get a slice of pizza. That was my modest goals back then. Maybe make a movie. Maybe make short films. That's what I would do. Do that, Eric Kripke. Go out and move to Iowa and just make little short films. You know, on your phone, your modest computer setup. Put them on YouTube. Make a YouTube channel. Do whatever the hell you want so I can ignore you. And you don't have to touch, you know. And the sad thing is, he did 5 seasons of The Boys. I'm sure he could be in the running for working on Vought Rising, because it's a spin-off show of that. I'm sure if there's another comic book thing, the guys who hired him the first time, oh, we'll give you another comic book thing. Here you go. So, yeah, as soon as I hear his name, I'm out. That Park Place. Star Wars spent a decade pushing away boys, so why would today's teens care about The Mandalorian and Grogu? Excellent question. I think I've answered that many, many times. They don't. Boys are running out of places to go, though. You've destroyed movies. You've destroyed video games. Fortunately, we boys are very resourceful. We'll find something. We'll find something. Or we'll make our own stuff. Your dog news. He wants the Pineys, I hear. Oh, dear God. Yeah, no. Eric Kripke can go pound sand. He doesn't want the Pineys. There's too many guns in it. But a guy like him might want the Pineys. I could see a producer, you know, if the Pineys hit really big, and then, like, I'm shopping around the Pineys and looking for a deal. Yeah, I could see one of those lefty guys going, ooh, I'll lie to him and, you know, become the producer of the Pineys, and then I'll get rid of all the guns. That ought to show him. Or I'll show that I'll put guns in it, but I'll show every time that gun is used, it's always a negative experience, and it'll become this big anti-gun mantra. That would be my prediction if I wasn't on top of things, or you know, I wasn't around, let's say, to protect my own thing. So if you're watching this years from now, years and years from now, and they're making the Pineys and they've turned it into an anti-gun thing, my solution to you is this: rally and do not watch a single episode of the Pineys if that's what happened. Promote the books, and that would be my advice. Your dog news. That doesn't sound very fun. Yes, but this is the way Hollywood works. Now, as you all know, or maybe you don't, but I'll mention it, I have a webcomic called Superfrat. Let's see. Oh, crap. It's not coming up. Hold on. I logged out. There it is. Superfrat. And I've been doing Superfrat, oh my God. How long have I been doing Superfrat now? Too long. 20 years. I think it's been up for 20 years. And Superfrat, the basic pitch is a meteor hits a frat house and all the brothers get superpowers except one. So they use their superpowers in incredibly irresponsible ways. So it was supposed to be, it's almost like a fun version of The Boys, I would say. So the motto of Superfrat was drink beer, get laid, fight crime. And I had some interest in the Superfrat comic as a movie. And it got so far that one of the potential producers, because we had nothing signed, one of the potential producers hit me with a screenplay that it was a screenplay pitch. It wasn't a screenplay. I wrote a screenplay for Superfat, by the way, for the movie. But he wrote, these guys pitched a screenplay, and these were guys the studio would potentially greenlight because they had written, I think they had worked on the Tuxedo with Jackie Chan. Anyhow, they pitched this screenplay for Superfrat. And you can hear in the title, it's Superfrat. Superpowers and a fraternity. The producer apparently went to college and didn't like frats. So the first thing the producer said is, yeah, play down the frat. So the pitch involved a group of college students. They don't have a fraternity, even though the comic is called Super Frat, and they get superpowers. And they changed all the superpowers too. So like the characters in the pitch didn't even have the same superpowers. It didn't have the same characters. I mean, it was insane to me. I'm reading it going, this doesn't make any sense. This is all new stuff. Like, you wanted to option the characters and the comic. My fans will hate this. Your dog news. I don't even remember the tuxedo. Yeah, it was the idea was the tuxedo had all sorts of superpowers in it, and Jackie, like, it could move Jackie around and fight people and had gadgets in it. Yeah, it didn't do very well. Anyhow, long story longer, the deal never happened, but it would have been a disaster. They would have put out Superfrat, and there would have been no frat in it. And there would have been a bunch of characters no one would recognize, not my fans. The one group of people who would want to see a Superfrat movie. They were perfectly prepared, and they were, like, totally serious when they pitched it to me and brought it to me, and I was like, no, absolutely not. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You're going to pitch Superfrat without a fraternity in it. Why even option my comic? Oh, they know what they're doing. That was the word from the producer. Oh, they know what they're doing. No, they don't. They made the tuxedo. They don't know what they're doing. But this is Hollywood. So behind the scenes, they're trying to get movies greenlit, and they'll do anything to do that, which you can understand to some extent, right? You can understand that they're trying to get movies greenlit. But because someone at the studio, or the producer, I think, didn't like fraternities, they immediately took that out. Why even pitch it to them? Like, if you told me, hey, this producer's interested in your movies, oh, but he doesn't like fraternities, I said, well, we can't pitch him Superfrat. I'd pitch him something else. Like, but they don't think that way. Everybody in Hollywood they're some of the most desperate people I ever met. Everyone. The desperation is palpable. You go into meetings and you're just like, is anyone here know anything about anything? Does anyone here have any money? Does anybody here have any capacity to greenlight a movie? And they don't. It turns out they don't. They're just there wasting your time because they think you have the capacity. And I was nobody. I mean, I was going into meetings and I was just like, I was there to see them, hoping they had money for a movie. Instead, they were like taking meetings with me in case I got a deal. And I was just like, well, why did you even meet with me? You're just wasting my time for yourself. That's the way Hollywood rolls. And that's part of the reason I just stopped going to LA. There's just no reason to go until you're big enough that you can see actual people who have actual money and actual. So like my goal as coming away from LA was to start comics and IPs that Hollywood that would then come to me and go, ooh, we like that. Can we buy it from you or give you money? Your dog news. You need to pitch the Pineys to Ted Nugent. That would be funny. He'd love it. He'd probably say there are not enough guns in it. Or bows. He'd be like, you don't have any bows in this. Well, Shelley has a crossbow, so that's a bow. I actually thought about putting a bow in it. I got to put a character with a bow. That's a good idea. It's a good idea. I have to do that. I have to put a new cousin in who only hunts with a bow. But yeah, like Ted Nugent, yeah, but he doesn't make movies, unfortunately. I should send him a copy. I wonder if I could get him a copy. He'd probably love it. Six Ravens adds new medieval eats menu ahead of Disney's spring opening. Okay. I wonder how much that costs. I wonder if there's any prices on the menus here. Probably not. This is the medieval menu at Disney World. Now, they don't have pictures of prices or nothing. I don't care. Let's see. Star Wars Galactic Cruiser named biggest flop in U.S. theme park history. Well, I think we all knew that. It cost $1 billion. I mean, $1 billion. I don't even know how you spend that kind of money on a building. It's crazy. All right, we got to go here to Geeks and Gamers. Review In the Gray, top 5 reasons to see Guy Ritchie's new action movie in theaters. Ooh, okay, I like this. This is a kind of a different review. It's a good idea. And I want to see this movie. Number 1, the leads. Yeah, it's Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal. And, what's her name? Eliza Gonzalez. She's like the boss and they do all the work. Man banter. That's good. Sounds good. Return of the distressed damsel. Okay, I like that. So Eliza gets herself in trouble. Boom booms and pew pews. I like that. Sounds fun. It's a fun twist on a typical heist film. Oh, right. It is a heist film. I forgot. Yeah, that sounds good. Good job, Geeks and Gamers. That's a good idea. Top 5 reasons to see a movie. That's a great framing. I love that. Okay. And I do want to see Guy Ritchie. Man, when he hits it, for me, I love his movies. When he misses, it's a gigantic disappointment. But man, when he hits it, I mean, I love the Sherlock Holmes movies he made. I love them. I really want to see a third one. Even though it risks being sucky, I really want to see a third Sherlock Holmes. Let's see. Nicolas Cage reveals he was almost Green Goblin in Spider-Man. Absolutely 100% could see that. Yeah, he'd be a good Green Goblin. Yep. I could see Nick Cage as the Green Goblin. That's perfect. It's actually perfect for him. I mean, William Dafoe is great. Don't get me wrong. But Nick Cage can do crazy pretty damn well. That would have been interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I could see it. But he was already in the MCU, so. I like that one part of the MCU where they don't generally repeat any actors, which I think is a good plan. All right, going to Breitbart. Oh, this is the big news. Iran agreed to surrender enriched uranium and nuclear ambitions in tentative deal with Trump. That's big news, if true. We've been here before, so. Iranian president says Tehran ready to assure world they are not seeking nukes. I mean, this is a huge W if this holds. Huge W. For everyone, really. It really is a huge W for the world. Let's check gas prices. I bet gas prices went down. They were down yesterday, just a little bit. I have a Gas Buddy app. You should 100% get this app. It finds you the cheapest gas. No, we're still at $4.35 in South Jersey. But I bet it goes down this week if this holds. So, But let's see what's going on in entertainment news. Greek culture news site rips Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey for excluding Greeks from DEI cast. See, DEI is a double-edged sword, right? So you could say, oh, we have to have a diverse cast. Yeah, okay. So how are you going to have a diverse cast in Black Panther as always the example people use? How are you going to have a diverse cast in a samurai epic? The answer is you can't, you shouldn't, and it's stupid. So it's just as stupid to exclude. I don't think there's a single Greek in the Odysee. But the metric is really not, the race of the people. The metric is whether or not they can look Greek, right? So if you can look Greek, it's fine to hire, like, for instance, we Italians, we look pretty Greek. A lot of us have black hair. But yeah, like Lupita Nyong'o, she doesn't look Greek. She shouldn't be Helen of Troy. Elliot Page doesn't look Greek. There's a lot of people I think Matt Damon doesn't really look Greek. I think he needed to dye his hair like black. Like maybe if you dyed his hair black as a piece of obsidian, then maybe, and then giving him chest hair somehow. It's just about the look. Even Zendaya, she's pretty light skinned, a little bit of makeup, or the way you shoot her. She probably could pass. She doesn't really look Greek, but again, give her more black hair, maybe. But she's a goddess, so you can kind of get away with that a little bit. But you've got so many people here in the movie. The Odyssey is just not one you cast that way. You can kind of make it like Shakespeare, but then they put in modern idioms, right? They got Tom Holland saying, "Dad, my dad's coming back." They don't say dad back then. They say father or whatever the Greek word is for father. And he's British, right? Normally they shoot something like the Odyssey, and who do they hire? They hire like an entirely British cast with Shakespearean backgrounds, so it like reads like an opera, right? Chris Hemsworth would have been the guy I would have cast, because he can do that kind of voice, right? He does Thor. That's the kind of voice you want. I am Odysseus. Instead you got Matt Damon looking like he just walked out of a gas station. Hey, I'm Odysseus. How you doing? Like, that doesn't work. He's wrong for Odysseus. No one's talking about the miscasting of Matt Damon. I don't think he's a bad actor. I just don't think he can play Odysseus. He's not regal enough. Ralph Fiennes, when they cast him in that other Odysseus movie, yeah, Ralph Fiennes can pull it off. But Matt Damon in an Odysseus movie, he could be a second tier guy. He could be a supporting guy. Again, you should dye his hair. Maybe he could be one of the suitors, or he could even be maybe one of the gods, one of the lesser gods, but I wouldn't put him in the lead. The lead, you need somebody big. Like, he's got to walk onto the screen and everybody's pointing at him. Everybody's looking at him. That's the kind of lead you need. Somebody who just eats up the entire screen with his presence and has a booming voice. I'd cast Robert Downey Jr. before I'd cast Matt Damon, because Robert Downey Jr., he just can act the hell out of anything, and he could do an English accent too. So, but really, my first choice probably be Chris Hemsworth, because he's built for it. He looks like a guy who's been fighting wars his whole life. You know, he's built. And a bunch of guys like that. Sure. Matt Damon, meh. Matt Damon. Colbert hosts Michigan public access show first day after late night show cancellation. Okay. Not sure why. Here's Colbert. Here's the video of Trump.
Welcome back to our final broadcast.
Trump trashing Colbert into the dumpster. Yay. This is a pretty funny video. Come on. Disney wants FCC to classify The View as bona fide news interview program for equal time exemption. See, I don't quite understand this strategy. Like, the rule is you have to give equal time now, again, to, candidates. So if they're a news show, shouldn't a news show be the number one target for that rule? Because they would have the credibility. The View, to me, has zero credibility. It shouldn't just be news shows anyway. It should be anyone doing a show that does interviews. Like, the news just has to report on stuff that happens. If a bunch of stuff happens to only one candidate, well, you got to report on it. You can't do equal time that way. It can't be equal time news, or it'll be weird. If you're a news show, but I don't get the strategy here. But they're asking for some sort of exemption so they could do nothing but interview Democrats. I mean, it's ridiculous. Actress Vivica A. Fox. I trust career politicians over reality stars like Spencer Pratt. Well, good for you. Enjoy that. I hope it does well for you. It's woke-tarded, but sure. Queer as Folk star complains Hollywood has cut back on gay-themed projects. It's a real shame. No, it's not. You need to cut a bunch more. And they will cut a bunch more. Because, again, you turn being LGBTQIA2S++ into being trendy. And now the trend is ending. It's done. And the moment it ends, no one's going to want to talk to you guys. No one's going to do any of this stuff. It'll be old news. The hot stuff, I'm telling you, is going to be religious stuff. It's already happening. You can see it. Mel Gibson's doing another Jesus Christ movie. It's going to be the hot ticket to be religious. And when that happens, all that stuff's going away. And Hollywood will spend the next 10 years, every time you complain, pointing to the pile of gay stuff over in their library saying, yeah, we did a bunch of gay stuff. It's over there. Go ahead and watch it. Nobody watched it the first time. Maybe you'll watch it now. And that'll be it. You won't even hear stories because the entertainment press, the regular mainstream press won't even cover your complaints anymore. It'll be done. It'll be over. Really over. That's how you'll know it'll be really over. When you hear nothing but talks about, oh, we're doing another religious thing. We're doing another Jesus Christ biblical epic. And maybe you'll get one little report about somebody over at GLAAD having a meeting complaining that, oh, they never do any gay stuff anymore. They just won't. It just won't be trendy to do. Sorry. I tried to warn you. You had an opportunity during your time to shine to make real change, to make real concessions, to say, oh, yeah, no, we're going to draw the line at trans stuff, and we're going to make sure, we're not going to push kids into that, or we're going to keep things for adults that are for adults. You could have drawn that line, and people would have been very happy to hear it, and we wouldn't have had all this nonsense in our schools and in our culture. But you didn't. You pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. Now all that footage will forever haunt you, because every time you trot out another complaint, they'll trot out the old footage and say, well, we don't want drag queens doing story time anymore. And you'll go, but we don't do that anymore. Yeah, well, we had to cancel that because you just sat on the sidelines and did nothing. We had to be the adults in the room and say, yeah, that's not for kids. We had to draw the lines after you fought us in court over and over again. Oh, but we didn't fight you in court. That was the politicians and the other groups that we don't control. We didn't control them. Yeah, well, as far as the general public's concerned, you did control them. That will be the conclusion from the normies. The normies will just go, yeah, it's too much. And it's all going away. Or it will be confined where it used to be, which is in the art house cinema, which is fine because only grown-ups go to art house cinema stuff. And you'll still have some. It won't be completely gone, but in the mainstream world, it'll be gone. In my opinion. Fashion designer rips up cliched commencement speech written by AI, gets huge applause. Okay, why did you have the AI write it up? Why didn't you just write your own? Virgin River actor Stuart McLean went missing, found dead. Police are investigating as a homicide. What? Oh, that's this guy. Yeah. What happened? Canadian actor Stuart McLean remains were identified Friday, just 24 hours after it was announced he was a possible victim. That's terrible. This is in British Columbia. 45-year-old, also known as Stu McLean, had last been seen at his residence in Lions Bay, a community just north of Vancouver. Huh. Wonder what happened. That's a shame. Oh, this was a shame, too. A lot of people dying this weekend. Rob Bass. You guys remember Rob Bass? Rob Bass, it turned it out. Poor guy had cancer. That's a shame. It takes two things to make a thing go right. I used to love that song. That's a shame. 30 rock star Grizz Chapman dies at 52. I don't remember him on 30 Rock. Who did he play on 30 Rock? Cause was not given for his death. Died in his sleep after years of fighting illness and dialysis. Oh, okay. That's a shame. That's rough, man. That's kidneys. It sounds like kidney failure. That's a shame. Jeez. 1, 2, 3 deaths. We talked about Trey Parker. Death of a career. Over at New York Post. On the table. Iran's supreme leader has agreed in principle to give up uranium as part of a peace deal. Okay. This may be the thing that Trump just calls a win and moves on, but we'll see. As long as the oil gets through the strait and the Iranians are cucked, maybe okay. We'll see. Here's how the peace agreement would reopen the Strait of Hormuz and deal with the nuclear waste or nuclear issue. Ceasefire deal without tolls ends the fight for 60 days, begins tough negotiation. Okay, so to be a ceasefire. And then the strait will be open for the 60 days. In return, the U.S. will lift the blockade on Iranian ports and some sanctions. Okay. And they'll stop enriching uranium. Agreed to the removal of its stockpile. Iranian officials told the Times there's no agreement on the nuclear program that would be the subject of negotiations. Yeah, I mean, they gotta get rid of it. So, Huge win for the Trump admin if this holds. Tiger Woods reportedly returns to Switzerland to continue rehab. I wonder if he's getting his blood replaced. That's what Keith Richards did. That's how he beat heroin. He got his blood transfused. Here's more on the shooting at the White House. Preppy Princeton killer who slayed brother and ate his eyeball found dead in a jail cell. Oh my God. See, he should have been in an institution in my view. Let's see. Democrats' radicalism is their biggest problem. I would agree with that opinion. Taylor Swift's Knicks fandom. Oh, God. So she started going to football games because of her boyfriend. Now she's going to go to basketball games, I guess. Trans track athlete dominates competition at California Girls Masters meet, sparking shocking medal decision. Yeah, they shared the podium. Again, this shouldn't be allowed. Give the trans people their own category if you want, but it's unfair that they compete against women. Girl 15 burns down pro baseball team's tour bus during road trip hours after game. That doesn't sound good. At least no one was hurt. Deranged Luigi Mangione fangirl says she would delete her own pharmacist mom if she became a healthcare exec. Again, open the asylums. Patton Oswalt says Bill Maher was wrong to try to placate Trump, argues it always backfires. How? How did it backfire against Bill Maher? Bill Maher still has its show. He's the reasonable one, Patton. You're another one of the celebrities with TDS, in my opinion. My ex-boss, Bill Maher. All right, more on Iran. First images emerge of deadly Maldives cave showing horrifying condition that trapped the scuba divers. So I guess they got trapped in there and couldn't get out? I don't really understand. Livy Dunn caught on video with profane reaction to star boyfriend's mistake. Well, she's rooting for her boyfriend. He's like, she's like, F, he dropped a ball or whatever. Still a smoke show, though. Let's see. Here's Don Jr. marrying his hot girlfriend. Republicans need Plattner with devastating AI porta potty ad. Yeah, this guy is like, this is the guy with, I believe he's the guy with the bad guys from Germany tattoos, right? I don't know how the Democrats would let a guy like that even run. I think we're just about done here. Sports. Danger zone. Blast zones identified as chemical tank inches toward explosion. There was actually two like this. This was the one in California, I think. Yeah, Orange County. But there was another explosion in New York City in one of the ships, and a guy died. Let's see. Austin Metcalf's twin brother honors sibling at graduation years after deadly track meet stabbing. I remember that. It's a shame. Ken Jennings on the Jeopardy prep trick he swears by and the category that made him, even him, sweat. Don't care. Viral teen takeovers unleash chaos nationwide, targeting malls, beaches, and restaurants. We had a few of these in South Jersey. There's a simple cure for it. It's called arresting teens. I know you've never tried it, blue states. Here in South Jersey, they've initiated curfews. I don't think you need to initiate curfews. I think you need to arrest teens. If they are out of line, arrest them. Arrest them. Now, the curfew does give them some ability to arrest teens if they're out alone. But like this stuff, you should arrest these guys. Look at them. They're all over the place. Or you got to better control certain areas in terms of the people. But they start jumping on cars. Yeah, that's when you got to arrest some people. And most teens just run away from the cops. They just run away. So the moment the cops come in, they just run. So you just need enough of a cop presence, really. And if you've got a lot of people, in our case, it's always the shore and the boardwalk. You just need more cops on the boardwalk. That's all there is. Now, I guess the towns are still going to do that too with the curfew, but yeah, I would put more cops on the boardwalk. And I would have a zero tolerance policy. If two kids start fighting on the boardwalk, arrest them. Detain them. Take them downtown, make their parents come get them. Say they're causing a disturbance. Get your kid. Put him in lockup. Give him a soda. And call the parents. You do that enough, the parents won't let that kid out anymore. My parents, oh my God. You know what my parents would have done to me if I got caught somewhere doing anything? Oh my God. I would have never, I'd still be hearing about it. My parents would call me up right now and go, I remember what you did. That's the way you gotta raise your kid. What is this? Gay middle schooler blast effing ridiculous school and viral graduation speech. Okay. Weird. Why are you having a graduation for middle school? You're not out of high school yet. These friggin' kindergartner graduation. It's dumb. Stop all these graduation ceremonies. Just stop them. You know what's the great part of being done school for the year? Summer vacation. Just get me to that. That's all I cared about. California governor candidate makes shock vow over doomed high-speed rail. Oh my God, they're still trying to do that. Listen to this. New York City hotel maids now make more than rookie cops, firefighters, and teachers as union averts strike following new salary agreement. That tells you where the priorities lie in New York, doesn't it? Yeah, we need maids. This place is filthy. Brooks Nader and Livy Dunn rock the iconic swimsuits. First Baywatch reboot trailer. We looked at this. Yep, that's it. That's the stills. They look hot. San Diego mosque shooter was obsessed with based racist cartoon character, his online pals say. I don't know who that character is. I never heard of that character. Yeah, it might be a red flag if your kid's looking at that too. Summa cum laude college graduation spirals out of control after families erupt in vicious brawl. Again, arrest them. This should be another arrest situation. Bring in the cops. Everybody involved goes downtown. You sort it out there. You do that enough, people just stop doing it. This app, the app that finds the money you forgot you were spending. How about just controlling your spending? It's not that hard. Just stop buying useless stuff. I don't understand that one. Let's see. Critically endangered lemur gives birth to rare set of triplets at Georgia Zoo. We hope the numbers keep growing. Aw. Sleepy lemurs. I think that's it. Yep, that's about it. That's about it for me. Tony D and Little Joan. Well, what have we learned today? Well, We learned the Mandalorian and Grogu did meh business. Meh business. We learned more about the Odysee and why Hollywood doesn't listen to people and their fans. We learned more about Trump derangement syndrome on the sad state of South Park, in my view. What else did we learn? Oh, we saw the new Baywatch teaser. That was great. We saw Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert just won't go away, apparently. He's determined to stay in the limelight. Another few moments, but maybe by next week we will not hear from Stephen Colbert. That would be great. That would be great, not hearing Stephen Colbert's name or seeing his image or anything like that. I would love it. What's coming up for me? I am doing the Walt Fest. Well, I'm doing the Flemington Book Fest tomorrow, Memorial Day. So we'll see how that goes. I got a call right in the middle of the stream, in fact, on that. So that's from 10 to 4, Monday, Memorial Day, tomorrow. Next weekend, I'm doing the Walt Fest on Saturday, May 30th. That's in Laurel Springs, New Jersey, at the Walt Whitman House, where Walt Whitman, the poet laureate, used to spend his summers. And then on the 31st, I'll be doing this, the FOP in Berlin, New Jersey, and they're doing the Cow Plop event. It's a big summer event for all their the families and the cops. So that should be fun. And at some point, I'll be doing my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. I'm not sure who's allowed to come to this thing. I assume it's just the families and friends, but maybe you could go. I mean, if you're local, you just swing on by and see if you can come in. Maybe you can pay a fee or whatever to see the cow plop. Apparently, they're taking bets on when the cow goes to the bathroom, is my understanding. Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. We'll look at the box office probably tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.